Good Saturday morning to you. Welcome into another edition of the Wealth Guardians radio show. And today, again, is the Question of the Month show, where we try to answer your questions that you email to us. And you can email them to me at doug@thewealthguardians.com. Again, I'm joined by Bryce and JB right here in the studio. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning to you, too. And it is a good morning. We're about on top of Thanksgiving, and we just passed Veterans Day, which marked a milestone. We celebrated the 100th year end to World War I. Mm-hmm. Amazing. It is. I got a neat chance down in Charlotte to be the host and sponsor of a Veterans Day celebration for a retirement community down there, and it was just really, really, really neat. You know, we always try to say thank you to all of our veterans out there, and especially today, following the heels of Veterans Day, I want to do that. But here's a little tidbit of information. You know, we don't have any more World War I veterans.
Correct.
You know, and we're losing our World War II veterans left and right.
Right.
Our last World War I veteran was Frank Buckles, and he died in February the 27th of 2011 at the ripe old age of 110.
Wow.
Yeah. He was actually a World War II veteran, too, and he was farming his farm up until age 105.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
How cool is that?
That is.
All right, guys. And again, veterans, thank you so much for everything you do.
Indeed.
And so, again, welcome back to the show. Bryce, JB, and I look forward to spending the next 30 minutes with you and giving you some solid financial information and hopefully help you in your retirement planning.
Let's answer these questions. And hello, everyone. Again, we welcome you to the show. You've asked the questions. Well, it's time for some answers. And as if you're a loyal listener to the show, you know that once a month we get to answer some great questions from listeners of the radio show. Now, we've got some very good and pertinent questions to answer today, so let's go ahead and get started. You guys ready?
Yep.
All right. Our first question comes in from Carl, and he has a Social Security question. Carl writes in, says, "Hello, Doug and Bryce. I just turned 60, and my full Social Security retirement age is 66 and 8 months. Okay. I want to retire when I turn 64, but I do not plan on turning my Social Security on until at least my full retirement age. How will it affect my Social Security payment if I do not work between my retirement age and the age I elect to turn on my benefits? Will it increase or decrease what I'm projected to receive as of now? Thank you, Carl."
All right. Good question, Carl. Thank you for that. And, many people each year wonder how to elect their Social Security to maximize their benefits over their lifetime. There's a lot of factors, Carl, that go into determining the answer to that question. The best way to understand your situation and get an idea of what your benefits will be is to take a look at your Social Security statement. On page 2 of that statement, you will see 3 lines. One line will tell you what you are expected to receive at age 62. One line will tell you what you're expected to receive at your specific full retirement age. And the last line will tell you what you're expected to receive if you wait until age 70. As you'll see, the benefits increase when you delay your claiming. Your benefits increase by 8% each year you delay claiming your benefits between your full retirement age and age 70. So your benefit's going to increase the longer you wait. That's nothing new. However, what I think you may be wondering is, by you not working past age 64, will that affect the amount of your projected benefits? As you'll see on your statement, it says, if you continue working until, that's in quotes, if you continue working until. In doing these calculations, Social Security assumes that you're going to keep working and earning that same amount in the future as you're earning today. So if you stop working at age 64, then your benefits actually may be lower than the estimates in your statement. Social Security benefits are going to be based on your highest 35 years of earnings. So if you stop working before full retirement age, Social Security is going to enter zeros for the years between your retirement and full retirement age when calculating your actual benefit. So the relationship between the estimated and actual benefits is going to depend on your earning history. If you have 35 years of high earnings before you reach 64, this might not affect your benefits at all. But if your present earnings are much higher relative to your previous 35 years of earnings, your actual benefits would be less than what is actually shown on your statement, because those zeros are going to factor in and lower your average payment. Now, having said all that, You can find your earnings history on the next page of your statement. This page will show you how many years of substantial earnings you actually have. This will give you a clue as to how the Social Security benefits you receive is going to differ from the forecasted benefits estimated in your statement. So, Carl, the bottom line here is that your benefits will go up if you delay claiming, but if you stop work at age 64, they may not be quite as large as they might have been if you had continued working. Now, as we said before, most pre-retirees wonder how to maximize their Social Security benefits, and that's why we do so many seminars on the subject each year. This takes having the proper information and understanding of all your options and strategies. We actually sit down with our clients to analyze their work credits and their history and provide several different options on how to turn their Social Security benefits on. Doing this can help greatly in determining when and how to turn your Social Security on to maximize your benefits. So if you're wondering about the same thing as Carl, folks, as far as when to turn your Social Security benefits on and how to maximize them over your lifetime, I really encourage you to work with someone who has access to a good software program that can analyze your data based on your specific situation. If you need assistance with this and you want our help, please feel free to reach out to us. You can call us at 336-391-3409.
All right, some great information there, Bryce. All right, we've got another question, this one coming in from John. John writes in, hello, guys. Last week on the show, you mentioned that there was a way to get out of paying taxes on a required minimum distribution. I'm very curious about how to do this. Can you please explain? Thank you, John.
Well, here's another one that doesn't want to pay his taxes on his RMDs. I wished I had $1 for every time somebody asked me how to do that. But yes, you're right. What we're referring to is a really neat tax. It's not a loophole, but it's a good, I think, a good part of the tax code. It's called a qualified charitable distribution for short. Now, it's only for folks over 70 and a half. And the benefit of a QCD is that if you give away any money to a charity at all, then you're allowed to give it to charity directly from your IRA. If you do it this way, the good news is your required minimum distribution is not counted as income. It can satisfy almost or even all of your RMD. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're used to giving, say, $5,000 every year to your church. And then let's also say that your RMD for this year is $5,000. So instead of you giving money to your church each and every week right out of your checking account, what you need to do is have your IRA send your church that money directly. And if you do it this way, then the good news is that you'll not have to pay tax on the money, and it satisfies your required minimum distribution. So it's a wonderful benefit in the tax code for those folks over 70 and a half and older who are forced to take that RMD. And if you don't need the money for income and you're giving money away to a charity anyway, then why not take advantage of this? So make sure that you do it properly. Make sure you work with a retirement professional regarding this because it's a great benefit in the Internal Revenue Code. You just have to know about it, and you know how to do it because there are a few rules. Number one, you can only do this after you reach 70 and a half. Also, there's a limit of up to $100,000 per year. That's all you can do. Now, you cannot do this from all types of retirement accounts. This only works for IRAs. So if you also have money in a 401k, you can't do it from that account. Again, this can only be done from an IRA. So if you want to do this, you must have money in an IRA account. There's a few rules to follow, but I'm telling you right now, it is one of the greatest benefits in the Internal Revenue Code for those folks that are 70 and a half and older who don't need their required minimum distribution for income. It's one way around paying taxes on the money, which can be a tremendous benefit. Great question, John.
Great information. Okay, our next question is from Amanda, and she writes in, Hi, Doug and Bryce. I need clarification on a retirement savings questions because I cannot seem to get a straight answer. I work for a company, and I participate in the company 401k plan. Each year, I try to max out my contribution to the plan. In addition to that job, I also own a small business. I would like to be able to open up and fund a SEP IRA. Can I do this? Again, I cannot find a straight answer. Thank you, Amanda.
Great question, Amanda. I have great news for you. The answer to your question is actually yes, you can do this. You can have and participate in both a SEP IRA and a 401k plan. The IRS very clearly says you can set up a SEP for your self-employed business, even if you participate in your employer's retirement plan at a second job. So the good news and answer to your question is indeed, yes, you can do this. In fact, this brings up a point regarding a question that we have to answer many times each and every year. Many people don't think they are allowed to contribute to multiple retirement savings accounts, and that assumption is just false. Most of the time, most people are allowed to contribute to multiple retirement accounts. So, for example, if you have a 401k plan at work, which most people have access to, depending on your income, you may very well also be able to contribute to an individual IRA, an individual Roth IRA, or some other type of retirement account. So please make sure you ask those questions to your retirement advisor to make sure you're fully funding every type of avenue you can for your retirement, and to make sure you're doing it the right way. Most people are able to contribute to multiple retirement plans each and every year. So I just wanted to make sure you know that, Amanda. That is a great question you asked, because I think it's actually going to help a lot of people out there more than just you. So thank you.
Well, that's a good round of questions. Boy, I tell you what, they're keeping us on our toes today.
They sure are.
Yeah, so folks, if you've got questions out there, please, we love this. Send it to us, Doug@thewealthguardians.com. That's Doug@thewealthguardians.com, and we'll do our best to get you on the air. Thanks a bunch, folks.
And folks, remember, you are listening to the Wealth Guardians radio show, heard locally right here on 94.5 WPTI. We certainly appreciate you being with us. Remember, you can reach us at 336-391-3409. That's 336-391-3409, or visit the website at thewealthguardians.com. Stay tuned, because we've got more questions to answer, and we'll be right back right after this.
All I know is that I fell in love with you.
And welcome back to the Wealth Guardians radio show. Right in the middle of our question and answer show for November, so let's continue. Got another question. It comes in from Susan, and Susan writes in, "Dear Doug and Bryce, I've been reviewing my choices for election of benefits through my employer. I have a 401k, and I'm currently contributing 3% from each check. My employer will match 50% of all contributions up to 6%. I would love to take advantage of the full employer match, but I am concerned that if I need that extra money, I won't be able to change my contribution percentage again until next year's election of benefits. Is this something that can be changed at any time depending on my financial circumstances, or am I only allowed to change it once per year? Thanks, Susan." And that's a great question.
Yeah, that is actually. Thanks, Susan, for that. Actually, your employer is the one that determines how often you can change your 401k contributions. Some employers may let you change it only once per year, while others may let you change it unlimitedly. Your company's 401k plan provider can let you know how often you can change your contribution. If you aren't sure of who your provider is, then contact your company's human resources department to obtain their contact information. You may be able to change your contribution as often as you wish, and you may be able to make the changes through your plan's provider website as well. So check with your human resources department on that to find out who the actual company is that you're contributing to your 401k plan through, and find out what their rules and requirements are. Now, a second thing I want to say here is when you're deciding how much to contribute to your 401k, one important consideration is whether your company actually matches your contribution. Some companies will match the amount you put into your 401k up to a certain percentage, like your company does for your question. So if your company matches up to 5%, for example, and you contribute 10% of your salary, your company is going to add that full 5%. But if you only contribute 3% and your company matches up to 5%, like you said, they will only match the 3% you contribute. You're not going to find a 401k out there plan that puts in, your employer puts in more money than you do. So based on your question and the things you said, I would recommend contributing a little more money from your paycheck, obviously if possible, to get the rest of the free match money that your employer is offering. It doesn't sound like you're getting the full match because you aren't contributing enough. So that's something else to consider, because I hate for people not to be able to take advantage of free money. So look into that and see if there's any way possible for you to save a little bit more money. I think that would be in your best interest.
That's some great information. Thanks, Bryce. Well, we've got another question. This one coming in from Ronald. Ronald says, "Hello, Doug and Bryce. When my parents passed away, I was fortunate enough to inherit a sizable life insurance policy from them. I am working on my estate plan, and I'm trying to set it up the best way possible to leave money for my daughter and her children. Now, I keep hearing a lot about traditional IRAs, Roth IRAs, stretch IRAs, 401ks, annuities, etc. But what about life insurance? Is that an old-fashioned idea in light of all these other plans, or should I consider purchasing the life insurance? Thanks, Ronald.
Well, hey, Ron, thanks for that question. That's a good one. I appreciate what you're going to go through. You're wondering how to set up your estate plan, make sure it's set up in the right way for your beneficiaries. The good news is it sounds like you inherited a life insurance policy. Mm-hmm. And life insurance is one of the best types of vehicles you can ever inherit. Life insurance proceeds generally pass to the beneficiary tax-free. And that can be incredibly helpful when you inherit money because a lot of the other types of accounts are fully taxable to beneficiaries. So I know many people have a lot of different types of assets, including retirement accounts. For example, if you pass on a retirement account from a 401k plan or an IRA plan, then that's taxable to your beneficiaries. Now, there is such an animal out there called a stretch IRA. Using a stretch IRA, if the beneficiaries do the right thing at the right time frame, they can avoid having to pay all the tax money up front, which could possibly help them avoid being put into a potentially very high tax bracket. They can spread the tax liability over their lifetime, which is a very good thing, but this will still be a taxable event to them. The nice thing about life insurance is it's completely tax-free. So you're right, it is an old-fashioned idea, but if you specifically do have an objective of legacy planning and you want to pass money on to the kids and the grandkids or other people, life insurance can be a tremendous idea to do that with. In fact, a lot of times it's very beneficial to actually use money from a retirement account to fund a life insurance policy. This reduces the amount of money that's taxable to your beneficiaries and creates a very large tax-free benefit. So, Ronald, your thinking here is correct, and it's a great that you inherited the life insurance plan. If it's your intent and it's your desire to pass money to your kids and your grandkids, then life insurance could be a possible idea that could be very, very helpful. Now, look, not everyone can use life insurance to do this because it's a type of vehicle you've got to be able to qualify for, both from a financial standpoint and a health standpoint. But if you're healthy and able to get it, it could be a very valuable tool. So, great question. And if you have any follow-up question to this, feel free to reach out to us at 336-391-3409.
All right, we've got another great question sent to us from Anna. She writes in, Doug and Bryce, I will be 70 and a half in a few months, and I understand that I will be forced to take out some money from my retirement account. I don't anticipate needing the money, and I would rather leave it there to work for me. Can I take that money out, pay taxes on it, and put it back in? If not, can it be reinvested anywhere else? Thank you, Anna.
Well, Anna, another great question. Thank you for that. The reason it's great is because many people are wondering that same thing. Doug and I have conversations around that topic all the time with our clients. There's a lot of people out there that once they reach age 70 and a half, they are forced to take money out of their retirement accounts in the form of required minimum distributions, RMDs, and a lot of those people do not need the money. So if you don't need the money, the good news is that you can reinvest the money. You do have to pay taxes on it when it comes out, but it doesn't mean you have to spend it. You can then reinvest the money into a different type of account and continue to let it grow. The only thing the government says you can't do is convert your required minimum distribution to a Roth IRA. So you can't move that money directly into a tax-free Roth IRA, but you can do other things with it. And you still may be able to contribute to a Roth IRA if you have earned income from other sources. So to answer your question, the good news is yes. If you don't need the money, you certainly can put it back to work for you into any other position and let it continue to grow. And if you need help with that kind of strategy, feel free to reach out to us, 336-391-3409. Thank you, Anna.
All right, guys, I think we've got time for another question. This one comes in from Janet today. And Janet writes in, I recently switched jobs after 10 years. I had a 401k with my previous employer. Now, should I leave the funds there, or should I attempt to roll over the funds to my new company or to an IRA? If I do a rollover, should the check be made payable to me, or will that cause me to have to pay taxes on that before it can be put into my new employer's plan? Regards, Janet.
Well, Janet, that's a lot to unpack there, but it's a very common question indeed. You know, it happens all the time. As you can imagine, every year many people change jobs, and most of the time those folks have some type of retirement plan savings. So in most cases, when you transfer jobs, it's wise to take your 401k with you and roll it over to an IRA. This way, you do not have to pay taxes on the money, and you can get that money into any type of investment plan that you want. It'll be a lot easier for you to manage and control. Now, as you know from listening to past shows, it is not always the right thing to do. Sometimes there are exceptions to this, and you want to leave the money in the current 401k plan. But in most circumstances, it makes sense to move the money to your own IRA. Sometimes you can move it to a new employer, but again, most of the time it's better for you to move it into an individual retirement account because you have a lot more management choices available to you that can grow and protect your money the best way. Now, to answer your question in a more specific, detailed manner, no, you do not want them to make the check payable to you. Doing that's going to cause tax issues. In fact, they're required to withhold taxes right out of that check if you don't roll it over to an IRA within 60 days. And then you have to pay taxes on all that money. If you do roll it over within 60 days, you have to come up with an additional 20% out of your own pocket to make sure none of it gets taxed. So you always want to do rollovers. A rollover means that your 401k company will send your check directly to the IRA custodian of your choice, and you don't have to pay 1 penny of tax on it. It's not a taxable situation. And once it's with your own custodian, you can then pick and choose how you want to invest that money going forward. So make sure you do a rollover into your own IRA. That's going to be your best situation most of the time. Again, there are circumstances in which you shouldn't do this, but it requires a lot of specific details and information to determine that. And if you're not sure, feel free to reach out to a retirement planning professional. You can reach out to us and we would be happy to go over this with you and make sure you're doing that absolute best thing for your individual and specific situation. That was a really good question. Well, doggone it, that brings us to the end of the show today, and I apologize that we're not able to get to all those great questions that were submitted, but rest assured, I will respond to you individually and answer your questions. As always, if you have a question that you would like my thoughts on or Bryce's, and one that we could possibly air on the show, please feel to send it to Doug@thewealthguardians.com.
Or Bryce, BRICE, at thewealthguardians.com.
We do these Q&A shows once per month, and I really look forward to them. We always get a lot of good, detailed questions that I personally feel can help a lot of people, and that's why we put them on the air. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out at 336-391-3409 or come to our website at www.thewealthguardians.com, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks for listening.
The information provided is for educational purposes only and not intended as investment advice for any individual or entity. All information contained herein is believed to be from reliable sources. However, we make no representation as to its completeness or accuracy. The views presented today are those of Wealth Guardians and do not necessarily represent the views of the Alpha Star Capital Management. The opinions expressed are subject to change without notice and do not constitute financial, legal, or tax advice. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income refer only to fixed insurance products offered by Wealth Guardians. They do not refer in any way to securities or investment advisory products. Please consult your financial professional before executing any financial strategy. Investment advisory services offered through Alpha Star Capital Management, a registered investment advisor. Alpha Star and Wealth Guardians are independent entities.